Post SHOT Show 2026, it was really interesting seeing, of course, all the big marquee brands that you're used to seeing. But a lot of people, I think, miss the focus of SHOT Show, and that is small business, all the way down to cottage industry, right? So, what excites me about SHOT Show is seeing the innovation of, maybe products that have zero market representation. And that's where you can actually have real conversations with real owners, with real designers, real engineers about the products that they are bringing to market. And I think a lot of that gets overshadowed by the big fancy booths where you're just looking at, the same stuff you're going to see in the gun shop. So we wanted to talk about how do those small businesses that make a big investment just to have a booth for that foot traffic and visibility at SHOT Show, how do they springboard that into like the following year and take that momentum and get it out into the marketplace, get dealers psyched and excited? I think we've all had that experience at SHOT where you're talking to a prospect or you're talking to a potential sale and everything seems exciting there because everyone's hopped up on, caffeine and Zen pouches. And then it takes 4 months to hear back from them. So, Ryan, what would you say, like if you were a new manufacturer in the outdoor shooting sports space and you felt like you had a really good SHOT Show and people like what you're doing, but you're not seeing the dealer adoption or like sort of the momentum that you wanted post SHOT Show?
It's all about the right? Getting that momentum built and then following through with that momentum. So if if you're especially a newer company that goes to SHOT Show, we all know how the NSSF works, right? You're down in the dungeon, you're in a dark corner of the first year, and you've really just got to put in that effort, right? So not only is it about the show, but it's about making sure the emails are being followed up and all those sorts of things. The biggest thing I can tell you from being a sales guy for most of my life is don't get discouraged by the lack of communication. Just keep on pushing, keep your foot on the gas pedal. What is it? I'll have to think of the saying from the racing world, right? It's just like throttle out. When in doubt, throttle out. And it's like just never lift your foot off that gas pedal and everything's going to be okay. It's when you start to get discouraged and you start to lift off and let that momentum slow down, that's when you're going to get yourself in trouble. So that if I could give one word of wisdom, it would be that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Cause yeah, again, someone might be excited about your product, but they were probably excited about a dozen to 50 other products. So being consistent and staying on top of that is key. But I think that brings up a good cross section of what we do at Buying Freedom Group, right? Where we can connect manufacturers, regardless of the size, directly to over 1,000 FFL dealers, and so it really gives you as a small manufacturer overnight exposure to exactly the customer you're looking for, which is the dealer. So, Ryan, if I was a small suppressor or firearm manufacturer, what exactly is Buying Freedom Group going to do for me in terms of direct ordering?
I love that you mentioned NFA because we're a really cool additional sales channel for a company that sells NFA items because of the fact that we can put it on 1,700 stores, regardless of whether they have an SOT or not. It can still appear there, and then it can get drop shipped to an actual NFA retailer. So it gives you a lot of exposure. But I think the main thing to understand is just the whole fight as a manufacturer is getting yourself visible, right? You want to be visible. That's why in today's marketing environment, we're on Instagram and we're on the TikToks and we're on, I can't name all the X or Twitter or whatever we want to call it. Like the whole thing is being visible, making sure that people know your product, know your name. It's why we all spent so much money on our logos, right? It's all about visibility. And with Buying Freedom Group, for a very low margin, you open up a sales channel that is 1,700 stores today and growing very quickly. So I think it's probably one of the easiest ways to get your product out into in front of more eyes. And unlike distribution, where you've got to send them a product, they've got to do a test run, they've got to make sure that it's actually going to perform, because they have warehouse space that they can't afford to just give to some product that's going to sit on the shelf. So they have to be a little picky. It's just part of their business model. That isn't an issue for us at the BFG. So really, if you want your product in front of 1,700 stores, that can happen by tonight. Reach out, let us know, and we can get those products forward facing to the consumers.
Yeah, and what's cool is it's exciting for those dealers because they're seeing product they've never seen before. So if you've got something unique, if you've got something cool and you have been struggling, like I just need to get this onto store shelves and onto e-commerce sites, couple button clicks and we can make that happen for you. So yeah, shoot us a note. We would love to get your product, whether it's a rooftop tent or a suppressor or a handgun, right? We can get that out into the marketplace and give you that direct connection and communication with the dealer network.
Yeah, I think the one of the big things that I noticed at SHOT Show is how is buying freedom group being interpreted by the market, right? How do people see us? And I think that's one of the biggest points of confusion. We heard everything from digital distributor to a digital buy group to, you guys seem like this, you seem like that. So I think to clear the air a little bit, it's we are a B2B marketplace that connects manufacturers directly to the retailers. And that's across the entire outdoor space. So I know we were at SHOT Show, and the primary concern of SHOT Show is obviously serialized firearms, but there's knives there, there's some overland stuff. But if you want to look at shows, I think we're all pretty familiar with the shows, right? There's the SHOT Show, there's Overland Expo. If you look at what's going on at Overland Expo, look at all those products, right? Grail Mountain, the water bottles, EcoFlow, from solar generators all the way down to solar panels for your truck, rugged off-road, suspension components, anything and everything that allows you to get yourself out in the woods, to pull out your gun, to do a hunt, is on the platform. So general outdoors all the way into the hunting, fishing, those spaces. So don't watch this and go, man, you know what? I make custom flies for fly fishing. I'm not right for the platform. Absolutely, you're right for the platform. You're perfect for the platform, right? If you want to get your product in front of guys and gals that are actually going out and sitting on the Snake River and casting a line, by all means, get out here. Whether you're a line manufacturer, a reel manufacturer, flies, bows and arrows and archery, and like all the things that are outdoors. If you make good radios that are made here in America instead of a Bofang, by all means, hit us up. Midland Radios, maybe. I'm just putting that out there. That's what we want to carry on the system, and we just want to make sure that we're giving an easy buying experience for any gun store to become an outdoor store, and any outdoor store to become a gun store. Like, we're trying to enhance the capability of the retailers in this space, because the big box stores have really become the Amazon of the brick and mortar world, and they're making it difficult for the small companies, and we're here to support small companies.
Yep. Yeah, and it's adding variety. The big box, of course, has its place, but that product selection can get a little stale. So being able to have these small and mid-sized manufacturers feeding into these retailers, it's really a rising tide for the whole industry. And like you said, cross-pollination from outdoor, overland, hunting, hiking, and even just general apparel, right? So definitely, if you make really anything, that's cool. Talk to us. We can get your product up and online.
Don't talk to me about the fashion side, though. I Charles, you could be the guy that does the apparel stuff. I just wear my boots that I've had since, God, I don't even know when. Until they get holes in them, I feel that they're pretty good. But you Charles mentioned to me a couple days ago one of a cool brand. They make axes, leather belts, stuff like that. Remind me what their name is.
Holtzbruck. It's a Swedish axe company.
Yeah, very cool. If you guys, and I know it's spelled weird, Charles. If you have it in your head and just spell it out, that would be awesome. Go check this site out. Like this gives a good example. If you're sitting there and going, am I right for buying Freedom Group? You should definitely reach out to us. What's 15 minutes to figure out whether or not your product is going to be a good fit for the platform is simple. But check this site out. They make, if you're an outdoors person, they make the coolest axes. They make awesome belts, holsters for your axe, stuff like that. I'm an axe nerd, so I thought it was really cool, but you might want to check it out. Yeah, I was going to say, Charles, that we were at SHOT Show. We were talking about small businesses. Obviously, we all saw SIG had their amazing booth, and Ruger and Marlin had their amazing booth. Taurus, of course. I always like to go by Taurus and just look at all the ridiculous, gigantic revolvers. But like you were saying, the small businesses are really the key to SHOT Show. About a month and a half ago, maybe a little bit more now, who knows, with COVID time, we put out a video that was talking about how to maximize your momentum from SHOT Show. And one of the things that's really cool about 2026 is that SHOT Show and NRA are so close to each other. So what would you say to some of those small businesses that gained a lot of traction and momentum at SHOT Show, and how do they take that momentum and roll it into that next show that's coming up in Houston?
Yeah, I mean, number one is just being there. I think NRA can seem almost too chaotic, or it's like, well, it's open to the public, so is that going to be good for me as a manufacturer? And definitely yes, right? Because you've got a lot of dealers and you've got a lot of the public, but it's the public, right, that's going to get excited and maybe asking dealers, hey, I want this product. And that's going to create that buzz, right? People will be posting about it, texting pictures of, whatever the cool thing is that you make. And you're going to see a lot of the people that you saw at SHOT Show. So it's a great way to reconnect relatively soon after SHOT Show and get that follow-up meeting, nailed down.
Yeah, I think one of the other cool things about BFG, I'm always going to bring it back to BFG. But if you guys go to, obviously we're watching some of our content right now, but if you go over to our YouTube page, or you go to our Instagram, you'll see that one of the really cool things that we do with some of the brands that are on the platform is co-marketing. So you're going to see a lot of Archon stuff on our Instagram page. You're going to see a bunch of Keltec stuff on our Instagram page. And at SHOT Show, we actually had a representation within the Keltec booth because, as we all know, you're not technically allowed to sell at SHOT Show. So utilizing the platform, Keltec was able to tell people, go talk to the BFG guys and you can buy inside their platform easy enough. All of that to say, one of the things I advise you guys to do, especially the smaller businesses, right? And when we talk SMB, small to medium-sized business, we're talking anybody that's generating somewhere between $1 and $20 million of revenue annually. So if you fit that bill, you're a perfect fit. If you're outside of that, you're a great fit. But if you're at NRA, you are allowed to sell, as we all know. One of the things that we want to be able to do is help promote your product and give you a platform that's easy to sell on. I'm sure all of you have at some point taken your little Stripe credit card scanner and tried to scan stuff, and it either doesn't work, or Stripe decides to ban a bunch of people right before the NRA show every year. Some of you have probably experienced that. So we can give you a QR code. You stick it on your table, and if anybody comes over and says, hey, we really want to buy some of your product, you tell them, scan the QR code. They're guided into the platform, and they can make their purchases there. And that's how you can manage any of your stocking orders for any retailers that decide that they want to make an order at NRA. So just a little something to keep in mind. Do you have anything to add to that, Charles?
No, yeah, I think that's great advice. And again, before NRA, you can have a digital, ordering experience for your dealers, like right at NRA, right? So you can grab them right there while they're interested, rather than going through almost like a second sales cycle after the show. Just get the order there.
Yeah, I think that's key. There's what is it? Act now, NOW, right? No opportunity wasted. It's something that I don't remember who it was. Football coach a long time ago said that, and it's just great life advice. if you have the opportunity to do something now, why wait to do it? And that is hugely important when we're talking about a store, a manufacturer, retail sales. If you don't capture that sale right now today, there's a high probability that that sale is going to disappear. So we want to give you that opportunity to capture those sales. That's the whole premise of the BFG ecosystem. But also get with us. Anna, who's put together this amazing video that you're watching right now, runs our marketing, and she is going to be the contact that you're going to have to do all of that co-branded stuff, which is really cool. We want you on the website. We want you in our podcast. We want you doing all those fun things. So we're very excited. We hope that you're excited to join us along this journey and go from there.